The night was calm at Station 14. The firefighters sat around the table, sipping stale coffee, waiting for the alarm bell that could break the silence at any second. But what came next wasn't the siren of an emergency call. It was a scratching sound at the door. When Captain Harris opened it, he froze. Standing there was a thin, mud-covered stray dog. In its jaws, it carried a single bloody shoe. The men stared in disbelief. It wasn't uncommon for strays to wander around the station, but this was different. The dog's eyes were wild, desperate, and it whined as if begging them to follow. "Something's wrong," Harris muttered. "This isn't random." Some of the younger firefighters hesitated. Maybe it was just an old shoe. Maybe the blood was from a fight with another stray. But the captain's instincts told him otherwise. He grabbed his gear and motioned to his crew. The stray barked once, dropped the shoe, and sprinted off into the dark. Against reason, the men followed. The chase wasn't easy. The dog darted down alleys across a riverbank and into the woods. The firefighters stumbled over roots and brambles, their flashlights bouncing wildly. Several times they nearly gave up. But each time the dog stopped, turned and barked, as if pleading, "Don't quit now." Finally, the dog led them to a ravine. The beam of a flashlight swept across the rocks, and that's when they saw it. A mangled car lay at the bottom, crumpled as if it had fallen from the sky. The windshield was shattered, the doors bent inward, and inside, barely conscious, was a young woman. Her leg was trapped and blood pooled beneath her. She whispered weakly, "Help, please," before her voice broke into sobs. The firefighters leapt into action. Harris radioed for backup while the crew scrambled down the slope. But the wreck was precarious. One wrong move and the whole car could shift, crushing them all. It was a race against time. The woman's breathing grew shallow, her pulse faint. The men worked frantically with their tools, but the twisted metal resisted every effort. The stray dog never left the edge of the ravine. It paced and whined, watching with eyes full of fear, as if it understood that its mission wasn't finished yet. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, with one final wrench, the firefighters pried the door open. They freed the woman and hauled her onto a stretcher. She clung to Captain Harris's hand, whispering, "I thought no one would ever find me." He looked up at the dog and said quietly, "You can thank him." At the hospital, doctors confirmed what everyone feared. The woman wouldn't have survived another hour trapped in the wreck. She had been driving home late when she swerved to avoid hitting a dog. Her car flipped into the ravine, hidden from the road, and the dog she swerved for? It was the same stray that carried her shoe to the fire station. Word spread quickly. The town hailed the stray as a hero. Reporters came, stories aired, and people marveled at the loyalty of an animal no one had even named. But for the firefighters, the most moving moment came a week later at the hospital. The young woman, now recovering, insisted on meeting the dog. When the stray was brought in, he padded quietly to her bedside, laid his head on her lap, and sighed as if finally at peace. She stroked his fur through tears. "You saved me. Twice." From that day on, the dog was no longer a stray. The woman adopted him, naming him Chance because he had given her one. The story of the bloody shoe became a legend in the town. It wasn't just about survival or about a dog's instincts. It was a reminder. Sometimes the most unlikely heroes are the ones who have nothing, yet give everything. Chance had no home, no family, no name. But when the moment came, he became the reason someone else got a second chance at life. The story closes with uplifting music, zooming in on the dog happily resting at his new home, while the narrator delivers the final line. Heroes don't always wear uniforms. Sometimes they have 4 legs, muddy fur, and a heart that refuses to give up.